Hello everybody, this is Kate Rebel's Realm. I am on part 2 of the North Throne faction for the Watcher of Realms hero stories. And thank you so much for watching. There's going to be a part 3 as well for all of the legendaries. And yeah, let's get into it. I am pretty excited to finish up on these epics of the North Throne faction. On to Bruenor, last dwarf standing. Find me a fiercer dwarf, bettin' that ye can't. You lot, oh, I'm the very beards on your chinny chins after what he done fear us. Overheard from a dwarvish campfire. That dwarf was drunk. In all of Taya, there is not one dwarven general more revered than Bruenor, the long-shot bombarder, as he rightly came to be known. Hailing from a long line of accomplished military elites, it was no surprise to anyone when he became the youngest dwarf to assume command of an artillery regiment responsible for defending the western entrance of the Great Dwarven Mountains. For nearly half a century, militant life for Bruenor and his troops remained placid, aside from having to deter the occasional pesky goblin band with a well-placed volley of shells. That was until dwarven scouts delivered word that the cunning vampires to the west were marching under cover of night to begin a full-scale invasion of the mountains. Dwarven cities were ideal points of conquest for their nocturnal foes, as they provided incessant protection from the unforgiving sun. And Bruenor's unit would serve as a vanguard against the onslaught. If his troops faltered, a domino effect of carnage would resound through the mountains as city after city fell. Bruenor readied his men and fortified the ramparts, but nothing could have prepared them for the sheer brutality of their bloodthirsty foes. Under cover of night, the vampires struck, quickly overwhelming the dwarves' position, despite receiving heavy losses from the consistent and accurate artillery. After hours of intense fighting, Bruenor gazed in horror through the smoke at his mangled troops, realizing he was the last dwarf in fighting shape. It was then that he made the fateful decision of firing a final shell on the tunnel leading east toward the other cities, causing a massive collapse which crushed countless vampires and buried Bruenor himself. Unable to push forward, the remaining vampires retreated into the dwindling night. When a dwarvish search party arrived the following morning, they expected to find nothing but the corpses of their fallen comrades. Not the case. Not only had Bruenor freed himself from the rubble, he even managed to dig out 4 wounded dwarves with his bare hands. He was made general within the week. You're a champion, little guy. Vortex. I love him. He is my second healer that I use, actually. I use Elowin always, but Vortex, I really like his range. Vortex, a costly experiment. After a glimpse of the pure elemental power contained inside the energy fusions, some greedy wizards attempted to claim this force for themselves. A wizard named Gladion conducted a dangerous experiment by himself. Ignoring the White Tower's ban and the others' dissuasion, he summoned a powerful water elemental fusion, intending to absorb the water's power from it in a magic trap. Then the accident happened. The water elemental immediately vibrated in the magic trap, which damaged the trap and caused it to reverse. Gladion was dragged into the trap and merged with the water elemental, turning himself into a half-elemental, the Vortex. Whoa! The memories of Gladion, a human distraction with too many strong emotions, haunt the Vortex's newborn soul, causing the pure Vortex immense pain. The Vortex is now wandering the cold lands of the north, where the harsh frost winds can give it peace. Well, that ended sad. On to Maul. I also still use Maul, and again, I think that I also use him in Grade 3. Blood in the water. The weresharks are a group of mutated creatures in deep sea. Growing around the gloomy seabed, they are brutal and murderous, often attacking humans and other marine creatures. Maul is the leader of the weresharks and the strongest warrior of them all. Undoubtedly, he is one of the deep-sea creatures that people living on land are most afraid of. However, Maul's ears keep echoing the ancient and evil murmur that, according to the shoal's priests, is the call of the ancient god, and the only power that could resist it is in the far north. Mari I also still use a lot. I use her in Arena because she slows down people really well. I dig it, and I obviously have this skin on her because it makes her look like a mermaid, and it's cute, and I like it. I don't know why she's glitching out right now. Mari's not having a good time. She's experiencing some technical difficulties. That's fine. Northern Seas Call. Like the ocean itself, Mari can be calm and beautiful at times of peace, but frenzied and unpredictable at times of rage. She is as mysterious as the seas of Taya, with as many stories surrounding her as there are pearls in the sea. There are those who say her kind are the last remnants of the lost human island kingdom of Prodeteus, destroyed by the ancient god as described in the ancient annals, while others say there are elves who once learned how to live underwater. What is known about Mari, however, is that she spent the early years of her life in the shallow seas. With few remaining of her kind, Mari had no option but to play with others in the seas, from dolphins and whales to merfolk, and despite her differences with their mysterious kind, she soon became firm friends with some, with Calypso, the daughter of a merfolk king, being her best friend of all. I have Calypso and they hang out together. As they played in the glistening waters of their youth, laughing in the currents, rainbows dancing off their pearls, all seemed idyllic. Yet as they grew up, the differences between them and their people were reinforced, with Mari's appointment as a priestess of a coral shrine leading to jealous Calypso becoming furious, swearing to become more powerful and wealthier than Mari ever would. I mean, they don't hang out. Never mind. Shortly after, two songs started to dance in the water. One simple and sorrowful from the north, and one unfathomably beautiful from the south. As the two girls had spent so many other days in their youth, they decided which song to follow. Mari wanted to follow the sorrowful song, which sang of duty and great prophecy of a disaster that could be avoided if only they acted on behalf of fate and met the chosen one. Calypso wanted to choose the song from the south, which sang of endless riches and glory, luxury and ease. But Mari did not trust the song, for it sounded too much like the treacherous voice of the ancient god, who had destroyed Prodeteus so long ago, of which she had been warned in her youth. Despite Mari's pleading, Calypso swam off to follow the southern song in the dark seas, and was never the same again. She became cruel and hateful and longed to kill Mari, while Mari followed the song of the north, a song as cold and sad as 1,000 ice whale songs, swimming into the current of her duty and destiny, guided by the gods and the turquoise sea itself. No! Oh my gosh! This is the thing. You read the stories and you get to know the lore of these characters, and I think that that's super important, because now we know that Mari is a sweet little mermaid lady who just wants to help people. Thank you all for coming and watching part 2 of the North Throne faction. Me talking about their stories, the heroes' little backstories. I think my favorite one of today was either Harpoon or Maiden. I think they were both in the first video though. Oops. That's okay though. That's fine. Ooh, Vortexes was quite sad. I like vortexes. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Comment down below who your favorite is in Watcher of Realms and who your favorite is in the North Throne faction. Thank you all for watching. I am Kate Rebel. This is Kate Rebel's Realm, and I will see you next time. Find me a fiercer dwarf. Betting that you can't. Oh wait, I have to do an accent. Hold on for a second. Oh, I don't know, man. I didn't understand that at all. Wow! I can't. Anal?
Annals.
Annal. Annals. There are those who say her kind are the last remnants of the lost human island kingdoms of Peridius, destroyed by the ancient god as described in the ancient annals. Why can't I say annals in the sentence? Why? Annals. Annals. Destroyed by the ancient god as described in the ancient annal.